You guys, I found a statue of Bill Huang. This will be fun. I wanted to do a video. Sometimes I want to do videos that are less stressful for me. This video will be fun for myself, but not for Bill Huang. Bill Huang gets sentenced tomorrow for securities fraud. This is what the DOJ is doing to a decent guy. And when hold on, I gotta get away from. And when I say fuck you, man, I mean fuck you. So Bill Huang, so it's a finance stuff, and that's always sort of fun if we're Americans, and what's the chief sport in America? Money. So Bill Huang's I don't know, what would you call, just he manages other people's. No. He's a family firm. It means he manages his own money. And there's less regulation with that sort of thing, I think, right? I would love to see Michael Lewis or a similar caliber financial journalist. So he's convicted 4 or 5 months ago. He gets sentenced tomorrow morning in, I imagine, Manhattan or something. I'll cut to the chase. He's an unbelievably decent guy. He's Asian American, very modest life in New Jersey. Oh, my shoe's untied. Hold on. I just tied it. Yeah, he's a Christian who he started his own foundation. I think it's called like the Mercy and Grace Foundation. And yeah, he drives like a fucking Honda Accord or something. I mean, his cars look like this. You know, his attorneys tried to introduce his lifestyle like he's an unbelievably modest man. His philanthropy work, he's created his own foundation where, you know, he's very, I don't want to get too, he's sort of like an activist, a philanthropical activist. He really tries to use his money for Christian causes. I jumped ship from the evangelicals. I believe they're kind of nuts. I think that's how the country got here. And I even Bill's appears he's gonna have a lot of time to think on it, but I have nothing but, I'm never not gonna like a guy like that. I'm never gonna dislike someone like that. It's just, I feel like I sort of understand a man, like, I understand that DNA too well. You know, the evangelical, Protestant strain, crazy about, you know, leveraging and parlaying money after money after money after money. So let me get to what happened. And I've had my own affairs. My life took a drastic turn many years ago. But so what I'd heard was, and just kind of reading, you're like, how can we get a journalist to unpack what happened? So he comes from like a revered coaching tree, you know, like Kirby Smart at Georgia. Well, he had spent some time under Nick Saban. You know, they have this DNA and stuff. He comes from like some revered, these are like gods of the universe. And so, but he decides, hey, I'm going to go start, he learned what he learned. I'm going to go start my own firm, and I'll do it on a family jump, you know, and, you know, if you feel Jesus has called you to that, that's, you know, who am I to tell you otherwise? You know, you got to sort of go with what, you know. Now, I would also argue something like this could be a serious course correction sent by the Lord, right? But I'm certainly never going to the DOJ is so full of shit. So essentially what had happened is very exciting. If you're not in the room and you've got no skin in the game, it was rather unbelievably shocking, like what had happened. So when anybody like go open a Schwab account or a TD Ameritrade, it doesn't matter. You can buy stocks online. You can sell them. You know, and you get a little thing. I think you do options. I went as far as once to start trading for currency exchange and stuff. They warn you, like, listen, 30% of the people that do this are successful at it. You're almost guaranteed to lose money before you do this, But I just kind of stuck with stocks and options. But what's crazy about it, and this kind of the thing, is they'll tell you 66% of the people that undertake what you're about to do are going to lose money. Nevertheless, they're going to give you leverage. Oftentimes, it's 4 to 1. Say you put in $1,000. I think it's $2,000 to open an account. Was 20 years ago. You take your $2,000. They'll leverage you to. They'll give you $6,000. Now you do that on a grand scale where Bill Hwang, very modest, quiet Christian man driving a Honda Civic in New Jersey, trying to parlay money for poor kids or whatever he's doing with it, his Grace and Mercy Foundation. And the banks, which in my view, are tantamount to crack dealers in Congress Heights. There is jacked up as you could possibly get. The Department of Justice is going to put on that these people are victims. I'll never know how you arrive at that. I gotta be careful here. It strikes me that it's social engineering, or I would say it's a dick measuring contest, to be honest with you. This is what happens. Bill Hwang driving 100 miles an hour down the freeway. Now, if you've ever been to Southern California, you know that on Interstate 5 in Southern California, everyone's doing, I was doing that trip. I've done it a million times. Oregon to California, back and forth. I had cruise control set at 91 once. I was being passed by everyone. Now imagine I'm at 91 miles an hour. I have a blowout. My car tumbles. I hit a couple other cars. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody's out their vehicle, maybe some twisted ankles and a broken leg or two. And the Department of Justice says this guy's it's a fucking outrage what this man has done. The posted sign is 65 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, he's doing 28, whatever it is, doing 30 miles an hour, 33% more speed. You knew this is unbelievably dangerous. I am telling you, man, from all my read, all the time I've spent with all those people, they are fucking crooks. Everyone is levered like Bill Hwang. Everyone. He's in there right now before they sentence him in the morning in New York. They're telling the judge he's unrepentant. Well, holy crap. Everyone's doing 100 and he's probably the dude doing 91. And this is part of the thing, like, you can't, man, wait, you can't just stop me right when I'm rolling. Well, you interrupted like the meat of my argument. Well, okay, let's get back to the fun part. The one that'll thrill everyone. That probably Bill does never want. Bill's probably like, don't ever talk about that ever again. Like in Spaceballs, he goes, yeah, it shows the accident. He goes, don't. Fast forward right here. Fast forward. Don't ever look at that again. This is what he did. So he's highly levered, and I think he was like deep in like Viacom stocks or some CBS. I don't know. Which plays into our next scene. Never mind. Oh, I gotta down some of this, man. This person's lost. Maybe we can help.
Hey.
You're holding up traffic here, Hoy.
I'm not gonna hit you. I'm just trying to park. There's cars behind us.
Oh. He can't back up. He can't back up and help you park. You trying to park over there? Just go around the block and come back. Let's keep walking. This is Fairfax. This is we just walked through Roslyn. Hey, I forgot to say hi to Jack. Jack and I worked on that yeah, sorry about, hey, we all got problems, Jack. I think Jack, you need to understand I was seeing a pass rush. Well, Jack's seen actually a lot of shit. Never mind. But he really helped me get on my feet. We worked on that, the CVS store there together. It's one of my first jobs in DC. So anyway, so what happened, and it's a monster, man. So he's highly levered. I don't know, maybe what was it? 10 billion of his own money levered to 35 billion. And there was a turn in Viacom stock or something. You know, you can tell how much little I know or don't know. There was a downturn in Viacom stock, which it went so far down, it resulted in a sell-off. When there's a sell-off, when you go down a certain amount so you had that $2,000 and they lent you $6,000, giving you a total of $8,000, right? Well, say you had $8,000 worth of Amazon stock, and it turns south. It turns south far enough they give you what they call margin call. It's like, I need more equity, I need more cash out of you to the bank. Otherwise, they sell your position. They don't ask. They just sell your fucking position. They don't care that Amazon's going to turn around in 24 hours and go back up. If you dip too far down, it's a margin call, and if you cannot meet that margin call, it's an automatic market sell. They'll sell at market price, which is a fire sale because it just turned so far south. So what had happened to Bill was, I think he was in bed with 5 or 6 banks. His position had turned radically against him. The way I read what happened, you had these 5 banks. If they pulled a margin call, something like this. If they demanded a margin call, it would force a sale of some of the Viacom stock, but it would blow up Bill Hwang. He's got, say, 10, 15 billion he actually owns, but he's borrowing another 20 billion. So if you cut in, say you cut into that 15 billion, it's a fire, it blows him up immediately. You don't survive that, because all you need is 15 billion of the 20 that's been borrowed, but he's only got 10, 15 billion in the bank, right? So it blows him up immediately. So my read of this, the drama inside that house, it's a family firm, was you had 4 or 5 banks. It's almost, you know, like the movie The Joker, or the Batman or whatever, where Joker like gives a detonating bomb to the criminals in a boat, and a detonating bomb to the social class, or the prisoners in a boat, and then the rich people in a boat. He would say, who will blow up the other person first, you know? It reminded me of that scene. That was the thing, whichever bank goes for the margin call first, or something like that, whoever calls for it first, they'll get their money back, but Bill Hwang is guaranteed to explode. And you had 4 or 5 banks probably weighing the option, like, Bill's been good to us. Remember that, remember the time we wouldn't have that one trade, And you know what Bill does, what his lifestyle's like, what his values are. We go back, and you remember that one day, I do business. I don't want, if we blow up Bill Hwang, he's connected to the other guy. Do you want to lose that? So they're weighing their options. 4 or 5 banks. Whoever pushes that button, say, margin call, I want my money. And eventually, so Bill Hwang's just sitting there, and I know what it's like on a far lesser scale. Please don't sell my position, please. It'll turn around in the morning. You had $2,000 of assets. In the morning, you have $200 cash left. It's a really terrible thing, but I shouldn't have been gambling anyway. And it's a much different thing when you're Michael Jordan. He's a Michael Jordan in that business, and it's like, and it's radically public, and you profess to be relying on your God, and it's clear your God has brought you to a very disappointing outcome, you know. But somebody did. Somebody, one of the banks, who knows, somebody said it was the first one, they got their money and the other banks are left out. I'll never, the DOJ, you know, you can cite, I don't know why there's the, I don't know why you feel like you got to crucify that guy. Cut his arms off, cut his legs off. You saw the statue we started the thing with, you know. So the prosecution is asking for 21 fucking years. You guys did that to that kid, Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, fuck you, man. Yeah, fuck you. We haven't really even got to like talk about prison reform and why you should never put anybody in that's God's business. You know, you're gonna put somebody in a cage like that, but if they're going to hell, that's God's business. You can't, you know, you shouldn't even put a dog in a kennel like that. But yeah, I think it's great that we end this video at a fucking a gas station. And hey, Bill Huang, we'll leave you with yeah, the change in your Honda Civic. You know, it just makes no sense. It makes no sense. But they're thrilled to do it. They're thrilled to do it. That's the thing, is like, when you're assigned to the patrol beat and you want to get somebody suffered an accident when you were a kid, and you saw it was because there was a reckless driver, and so you become a cop and you want to, so you patrol your highway patrol. And so it's very satisfying to you when you see somebody doing 85 miles an hour and you pull them over and you give them a ticket and you say, well, serves you right, pal. You're putting lives in danger and stuff. Well, finance is a little different. You can go watch people in the street, right? Finance is different. You cannot, FBI and even SEC, you can't just watch the lanes of traffic and what happens all day, every day, all the transactions. You can't watch that and go, okay, now this one's going too far. You have to wait until there's an accident. When somebody gets blown up like that, then you show up and you act outraged when you know everyone's levered just like that. And the banks, you cannot claim they're fucking victims. They are the fucking problem, man. Holy crap. It's like, honestly, what I hear, and I mean this from the bottom of my fucking heart, when I hear you saying like you're trying to avenge these victims, it's like you saying there's a crack dealer that got robbed for 10 grand in Congress Heights, and we intend to give this guy 20 years for it. They're the most disgusting people on the fucking planet. And I think there was like thorough warnings in Judaism. There's God's chosen people. Do not get involved in money lending at a usury. You couldn't possibly screw families and people up more. I need to make you aware, only 66% of the people that go past this line, sir, are going to lose everything. Do you understand? Would you like to continue? Yes, I would. Okay, we would like to give you 4 times the money what you're worth. There you go. Head on in.